first came to the building, you were at the front. You could see through the doors into the lobby where people are preparing. You went round to the left-hand side, and you've come in at the top left. You are at the orchestra pit. And when you look out, you see the stalls, you see the many tiers, and at the top of the building, there's this big dark area where the sound and lighting booth is. And that should be seen better when you click onto the theatre seating. You've got your seating plan there. You can see where the orchestra pit is. Matt, you've come in. You're at the bottom right-hand side next to the orchestra pit. So you can see on the left and the right, you've got many different boxes that people can hire out for the evening's events. You've got the stalls at the front centre row. I think it worked out about seat 15 and 16. That's where Matt's tickets are. That's where Sean and Claudia will be sitting. You've got the different circles, an upper circle and then a balcony. And in the centre of the balcony, that is the sound and lighting booth where they're going to control everything.
Right, okay.
Okay, behind, what you can't see, behind the orchestra pit, you have got the stage. And then behind the stage, it opens up into not a network of tunnels, but there's a couple of tunnels that kind of link around. They come around in a circle and they link around, and all the way around that area there's different rooms, and at the back that's generally where the star dressing room is.
Where a star is born.
Something like that.
I'm in contact with people, and you can see what I can see. So does anyone have any particular preference for where I head to? Where's best to investigate first?
Star's dressing room, clearly.
You just want an autograph.
Right, so just head there and trail
Stalk.
him.
Yeah, trail
Okay.
stalk.
The easiest way to get to it is actually get onto the stage. The stairs to the left and the right of the stage. To go onto the stage and head back through either exit left or right, and you'll get to one of those tunnels.
Yeah, I'll just head out, go through one of the wings, and work my way around.
Okay, now you are invisible, but you're also quite heavy, so how stealthy are you?
He's like a ballerina out there.
He's got spongy shoes on.
I am, in fact, very stealthy because my cloaking device was deemed to be a bit useless without doing something about that problem.
Sound dampening technology.
Yes.
Right, you know, like, is that on your character sheet?
Yes, it is. Take a look. Cloaking, concealment 3, sense hearing, and sense sight.
So basically, you can cloak yourself completely. You're rich beyond your wildest dreams. You can turn metal at any given moment. You are well connected, and Gage can open a door if he's forgot his key, and that's all that Gage can do.
Hey, and I do it right.
You helped with this character creation. Don't complain about it now.
We all have our weaknesses. I just don't
I'm always
advertise
human.
what mine are.
You get onto the stage, and you can see that there is certain props or stage settings. And as you head through the left-hand side, there's a couple of people who are backstage, but they're not going to see you and they're not going to hear you. So you can ignore those, pass them straight away. You're going to have to go around down to the bottom of the corridor. And as you get down to there, there is a big door. And there's a big gold star on that door. And it says, dressing room.
Matt, go kick the door in.
I think our bar needs a gold
No,
star
I think you should
inside of it.
impale him with the gold star.
Anything particular you want to do, Matt?
Yeah, I will. Is it worth making the effort of trying to open the door and slip in, or do I wait until presumably people will be in and out with deliveries and what have you anyway?
You can hear a man and a woman's voice.
He's getting it on.
You can't quite hear what they've been saying to each other.
Yeah.
The door does open, and the woman is turning around to leave and go through the door. And you hear a man's voice shouting, "Thanks, babe, it's been real. See you on the flip side."
See if I can slip in through the door. I'm very quick, so as the door opens, can I get in through it?
It's quite a large door, and she is quite a slender young lady, and she brushes the door open, and she starts to slink out. Now, in order for you to get through the door once she passes, I want you to roll a 12. That's including your agility.
18 with my agility of 0.
18. The moment she passes, you perfectly slide in, and the door, it almost lies on a spring, just slowly closes behind you. There is a big mirror on the opposite side of the wall with light bulbs all around it, and sat facing the mirror, facing away from you, is a man in a dressing gown.
Could it
By
be?
Manilow.
Could it be the prophets are true?
It's Emperor Palpatine.
Emperor Ball.
So I presume I recognise him as the person that we're here after.
I think, yes, this is Michael Ball. This is in his dressing gown. You can only presume what he's been up to at the moment, but he's looking quite satisfied at himself in the mirror. Do you want to have a look around the rest of the room?
Yep, I will check out the place, see what's around.
Okay,
For
to the
God's
left
sake, don't
hand.
use your dark light vision.
He's
No, nothing
a
like that.
real friendly ghost.
Okay, on the left hand side, he's got clothes hung up against. He's got like a picture rail going around that part of the room, and he's got hangers with clothes. Very nicely pressed suit hung up, ready for the show. Where he is, he's obviously got his mirror. There's a table, a dressing table with various makeup and various things. He's got a cocktail glass sat there with a martini. And to the right-hand side, as you're looking, there is an ensuite bathroom. He's got a toilet and a shower in there.
Well, take advantage.
Could I ask for one favour?
An invisible dump. At this time, Michael leans forward, picks up by the stem his martini, has a sip, puts it back, and reaches to the left-hand side of his dressing table, picking up a large jar of Uncle Joe's mint balls. Pulling the top off, unscrewing the top, he takes one of the mint balls, pops it in his mouth.
So,
Has it been changed from Uncle
Leaving
Joe's
the
to
top
Michael
off.
Balls?
It has been changed to Michael Balls. This is a man who likes to be in control of his own destiny, and everything he sees around him reminds him of himself.
has he left the top off, or does he go to replace it?
He's put the
Don't
top
waste
back.
your time. We have no time for these antics.
Grab Michael Ball.
Sucking his ball, Michael then pushes his chair away, stands up, and disrobes.
Things I did not need to see.
And we have it on video now as well.
Right, well,
He
episode
disrobes.
3, The Blackmail of Michael Ball.
He disrobes to show that he's not as lithe and as slender as you would like to think. He is actually wearing a corset.
Nice.
And as he moves towards the ensuite bathroom, he unbuttons the side and relieves his mid-torso to actually fall out in front to show the true Michael Ball as he flicks a button on the wall to begin the shower.
Classy.
Please tell me you're not actually going to get in a shower with him.
No, you're shadowing him. Get in the shower.
Right, here's what I want you to do.
Not a chance.
Ghost.
What I am going to do is, first of all, steal one of his balls.
You're going to steal one of his balls.
And then you're going to take one of the candy.
Make me promise.
Okay, so the room now, he's left the ensuite bathroom door open, and the room starts to fill with steam. And you can move towards the dressing table if you want, but as the steam comes in, you can see that it starts to affect the mirror.
Okay. Well, I'm going to, before the ominous message appears on the mirror, I'm going to nip over there, check just how lightly placed on the cap of the jar of mint balls is, take it off, take one, and put the
Hey,
cap
more than
back
one.
as I found it.
Right, okay. Now go to the mirror and just write "nice balls" backwards on the mirror.
Okay, now, why would you write it backwards? And don't say he can see it when he looks into the mirror.
Oh yeah, good point.
Mirror, not a window, Gage.
Oh, Cage.
Yes, yeah, sorry.
Okay, so
I've just
you are
got
going
to
to take one of
remember.
those, and they're quite sticky.
He doesn't wash him that often, does he?
The noise of the shower, he's not actually going to hear that. But what you do notice as you put the top back on, as the steam, and as Matt tries to destroy my actual storyline, the steam does roll across into the room, and you can see on the mirror there is an infinity symbol drawn on the mirror.
Ooh.
Awesome. Michael Ball is actually invincible.
He is actually infinite.
He's Michael Ball Infinite.
That's the secret. He is immortal.
Yeah.
It's all one setup to the big reveal. He's behind the interrupting of his own broadcasts.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that just
Yeah,
be
that's his teaser for the tour.
Michael Ball Infinity Wars.
the fact that his own tour is called Heroes, and he opens up with Bonnie Tyler, I Need a Hero.
Unfortunately,
Okay,
Bonnie Tyler's not that great these days.
he's only having a very quick shower here. You could soon hear that as you've taken one of his balls, obviously, and you've seen this message appear on the mirror in front of you, you also hear the shower being turned off.
While the room's been vacated, I've had a look around because I presume it's relatively sizable, but there's a fair amount of stuff in there as well. So I'm making sure that I know how to move about the room if he comes in and if other people come in, how to get about the room without running into anybody.
It's
Not
a large
backing
enough
myself
room.
into a corner.
It's a large enough room. I mean, in the corners of the room, all four corners, they're like, I don't know if you've heard of them, they're jardinières, which are basically big freestanding vases with bouquets of flowers in there. You be careful not to knock one of those over, obviously, but you've got enough room to be moving around him. Okay?
And now let's see what his reaction to the symbol is.
As he walks into the dressing room, he looks around and he notices on the mirror the figure of 8, the infinity symbol. He stares at it for a second and just moves over to an intercom system and presses a button. And there is a muffled response from somebody that's obviously must be situated in another part of the theatre. And he says, yep, Brian, it's happened again. Can you send someone down? And then he just goes back, picks up his dressing gown, looks really unaffected by this, like this is par for the course, this is happening on a regular occurrence now.
If it's been happening and nothing so far has happened apart from the TV broadcast interruption, then I suppose he wouldn't really see it as much of a threat, would he?
He's covered by yes men and people who are protecting him from certain information.
He doesn't think that there's anything that could go wrong. He is invincible.
It is a case of this is just someone playing games, as far as he's concerned.
Okay, anyone want to do anything with this information, or are we good to just still hang around and see what happens?
Yeah.
A minute or two passes, and then there is a knock at the door, and the door, he says, come in. The door opens quite widely, and a gentleman called Brian walks in, and he stands by the door. He's actually propping the door open. He doesn't come fully into the room because he's not been given permission. And so he just enters the room and has a conversation with Michael about who's possibly had access to his dressing room, and that while there isn't a heavy police presence, it has been agreed that there will be security on site. It has been agreed that out at the front and the rear of the building they will have a police presence, but there is no way that they are going to have that as an obvious presence in front of Michael. In fact, he doesn't want to make any big deal of this at all. He doesn't see it. He just sees it as a prank. So they're really playing down any kind of official presence. And so the job of this Brian is just to actually deal with damage control and make it as unimportant as possible.
We need a team name, and one of you needs to get some business cards printed quickly, so when we deal with this, we get the credits. Anyway, that's a consideration for later.
Now the time's going to start moving on now, and very soon he's going to want to start getting ready. Now he's done his sound check. Now the orchestra will start filtering in within the next hour, and they will begin to check their instruments again. Once again, want to be 100% for the night. He will at that time start to get ready and do his vocal exercises, and very soon after that the people will start coming in.
Unless
Do
anything
people get
notable
changed?
changes.
Unless you want to actually confront the man and have any kind of conversation, you're really not going to get anything else out of this event, this interaction between him and this guy called Brian.
That's absolutely fine. I mean, the only other option I had was I
Kill
do
Brian.
have a mini tracer and microphone, which I could have placed on this Brian guy.
Out Michael's arse.
Yeah, that's exactly what this character was invented for, because he's got 2 hands to hold it open and then 2 to ram it home.
He's good round,
Yeah,
thank you.
you have a mini tracer and microphone. Why put it on Bruce or Gary or whatever his name
I
is?
was going to say I could try and place it on Brian. The only difficulty is, I'm not that stealthy, as we know.
Is that it? Is that your only weakness? You're not that stealthy, even
Not
though
that
you're
stealthy.
invisible.
I don't go around advertising what my weaknesses are.
Do you have any bodily smell that we need to be aware of?
Any bodily smell?
He smells like a car mechanic on a Thursday. No,
I don't have any concealment from smell. So if they want to use sniffer dogs to hunt me down,
so you
He's the
stay
one
there.
that smells like Mr. Sheen.
Shines so clean. Oh dear.
Okay, now Brian is finishing his conversation up. Very soon, he has been propping the door open, but very soon he's going to be finishing that conversation. They're ending their chat now.
send a very quick text message to Frankie, because I can't speak, obviously, which just says,
Got the ball.
tracker on Brian,
Oh,
question mark.
I'll send him a text. In fact, no, I won't. I'll see how stealthy he's being. I'll phone him hilariously to see if his ringtone goes. See what his
Thankfully, I
ringtone is.
have the sense to put it on completely silent.
Oh, I'll
So
text
you
him.
are now phoning him.
No,
send
I'm
him
texting him.
alone.
I should be hearing him in his ear anyway.
You
should
you
hear
need
what-
to speak through the comm link, because if you text me, my phone is covered by my own invisibility, which I can't see either. So a text message.
So how did you text
No,
me?
How did-
My God, this is
Like,
amazing.
hey,
What else?
You can text by feel. I can't read the screen.
you just received a text, and obviously because he's doing it by feel, it now says test on brain, question mark.
I will whisper gently into his ear that no,
Love
Could
him.
you reenact that, please?
Yeah, please.
that's a bad idea. Don't worry about it too much.
Oh, right.
Because you're shit at stealth, apparently.
After receiving a slightly derogatory but also slightly homoerotic response, I will decide to go with the group decision and not risk betraying our position by trying to place the microphone on Brian.
Okay, so are you leaving? Are you staying? Because Brian's just about to leave.
You should stay.
I think staying with him is the plan.
So Brian now backs out of the room, bowing. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Leaving you and Michael together, and for the next 90 minutes, you are going to stand there silently, watching Michael doing his regime of preparing for his show.
We can skip through that bit now,
Okay.
unless you want to
Right.
act it all out.
Is it not really? So, is there anything that anybody wants to do prior to the doors opening?
Business cards.
I suppose
Business cards. You haven't
I
got
don't think I actually heard anything because that might have given away his position. So
You get a text through. And
How did you get a text?
it says bonus chords.
awesome. He's giving away part of the show. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna fly around in a giant cloud, carrying portal Pete so that you can have a good aerial view of the entire building.
It's about, we're getting on to now, the show's going to begin at 8 o'clock. People are going to start being let in now, which means the doors are going to open in the next couple of minutes. So it's about nearing 7:15, which means, because it's a November evening, it is dark now. And we've got beautiful ornamental streetlights all lining the side of the theatre lake and around the trees. There's really, because we're on the top of Sunset Hill, there is no major lightings or high buildings which are going to cause or cast any more light around the area. So it's a very ambient atmosphere. So if you're flying quite high, they are not going to be able to see your cloud.
Awesome.
Okay?
Yeah.
So,
And just make sure that Gage knows my position in case he needs to open a portal for me to get inside the building quickly.
there is a line, a huge line, going back from the doors. As they unlock the doors, people are billowing through, ready to go and take their seats. So people start filtering through. Position
Gage, don't
yourself.
forget your date.
Oh yeah, that's why I asked Machine to grab me a suit so she could be all swooned. But
Machine has not
no,
grabbed you a suit. What are you wearing?
He's wearing a power green jumpsuit.
I'm wearing a Christmas sweater.
It's the standard dress code for these events because it's quite a high-profile event. It's one of the biggest events that's happened in Emerald City on recent months, and they are going to have cameras there filming. This is not a live show like the one 7 days ago was, but this is going to be recording footage for maybe use in future montage videos. So that they are expecting a certain dress code. So
I'll get my tux. Can it be a banana yellow tux?
that's up to you.
Yeah, it can be whatever you want it to be, just so you know.
Sweet. And can I have a top hat with it?
No.
Yes, you can go totally pimp if that's what you want to be.
I'll get my cane.
Okay, so back at the Spotted Zebra, the scene opens where Gage walks out from behind the bar through the curtains, and he's wearing a banana yellow tux, and he's carrying a cane. He's wearing a cravat. He's looking like a real ladies' man. Let's say that, shall we?
Where's my top hat and my monocle?
Well, he'll be easy to spot from a distance.
Yeah.
Down the corridor comes Claudia, and she is wearing a beautiful long and billowing dress. She's got her hair curled. She's in ringlets here, so curled, and you've never seen her like this before. She's always had her hair tied back and in a tight ponytail, and she looks radiant. She's got a shawl around her shoulders, and she's wearing quite a long dress, which actually billows out with some netting, and that's important because she's got a tail, and she doesn't want to advertise that she's got something that other ladies don't have. I wonder where that was going for a second. Okay, and she sees you, and her shoulders just go down.
Oh yeah.
She just starts shaking her head slowly and goes,
Look,
We're
look.
gonna be
I'm
late.
showing her that looks can be deceiving.
Yeah, they can. You can look like an idiot and act like one.
Yeah, let's go with that.
and then she realizes that the doors have already opened, and in just over half an hour's time, the show will begin, and she doesn't think you're going to make it in time. And the last thing she wants to do is miss the opening music, the first number, the first chance of seeing
I'll
it.
say, don't worry, my lady, and I'll just open a portal behind me, grab her hand, and it'll lead to the side of the stage where nobody's there.
That is ridiculous. What was the point in buying
No, the side of the venue, sorry, not the stage. So I'm outside, but at the side.
Okay. All right. So you're outside now. You
Go
are
join
going
the back of the queue.
You go through. Have you remembered the tickets?
Yes.
I'm glad you thought about that. So you slip the tickets from your top pocket and you give it to the attendant, who doesn't even look at the tickets, just stares you up and down, punches the tickets, and gives them back to you.
And then I just go past him and just go, I'm the real OG, you know.
You walk through.
A green fist flies from the sky, smashing him into the ground.
Claudia gives a kind of look as she also walks through. Walk into the main reception, and you can see that there are doors to the left and right which are heading to the stalls. There are all the stairs to the left and right which would be going up to different tiers. You're going to head down the stalls. Are you going straight to your seats now?
Pre-order your drinks for the halftime.
I'm going to ask whether she would like a drink, maybe some little nibbles.
That's all she's getting.
She is now headed towards the stalls, and I'm assuming you're going to join her to go and sit down on the front row.
Yeah.
Okay, so you join that. We've got the metal man who's in the star dressing room, still invisible, and still trying to be as stealthy as possible. Frankie.
The green mist.
So, Frankie, you are now all clouded up, so you are officially the green mist. What are you going to do? Because you're outside the building.
No, I'm just going to stay there.
Okay.
You know, make sure a lorry doesn't ram through the side of the building.
Brilliant.
If someone needs me, you know where I am.
Everybody starts settling down in the theatre, and you can hear the band doing their final little bits of tuning up. Backstage, you can see that someone opens the door and says, 5 minutes, Mr. Ball. Closes the door, and Michael gets it at one final mint ball, pops it in his mouth for good luck.
That's going to take too long to chew and eat, so, you know, that's a terrible idea.
He's fine, so he rubs his hands together and he heads out. And he opens the door, just swings it wide open. Are you going to dart through that door?
Of course.
Okay, you're going to roll a 12, please.
14.
14. So you dart through that door without any problem. Out front, the lights have now gone down fully. Just like you saw on the live broadcast that was interrupted 7 days ago, the band begins to play the Superman theme tune. And people start applauding. And at the front, there is a man in a bright yellow banana suit sat next to a woman who just can't contain herself. And then it breaks into I Need a Hero by Bonnie Tyler. And that's where the singers come on from the side and the crowd erupts. They know it's coming to that moment. Michael Ball has now got to the side of the stage and he just looks at Brian, who stood now to his right, looks down at his hand like there's some expectation here, and Brian just puts up his hand like that, and Michael spits the half-eaten ball into his hand. It gets to the, I had to put that in because you thought he didn't have enough time to eat a mint ball. So. It gets to the music cue, and Michael Ball makes his entrance to a huge round of applause, and he breaks into his song, I Need a Hero. And he plays through the entire song, and there is no problems whatsoever. What about Machine? Where are you going to be? Are you staying at the sides here, or are you going on the stage?
It depends what cover there is out on stage. I don't want to be too far away from him.
So on the stage, it's quite a large stage, but it would normally be a really cramped stage because there would be a band, also an orchestra on there. We've got an orchestra pit. They're all off there, so it's all Michael on the stage. So they've actually utilised some of the other areas with props. As you can see from the side of the stage, we've got fiberglass skyscraper buildings all going up the side, but they're two-dimensional. They give the effect of three-dimension for everybody out there, but it is just a two-dimensional board. It's staggered in front of it. We've then got further boards. Some of these have got images of people. And then you've got about 10 feet of nothing before you get to the front of the stage where Michael is wowing the audience.
I'll stay at the side because there's no way to really get out there and completely be everywhere. If I can see a threat, then I can get in the way of it. If I don't see it coming, then there's nothing I can do to help anyway, other than just stand in front of him for the entire gig.
Okay. Smoke machine is now billowing up in the start for the second number. It looks like there's smoke billowing all around the props and the sets, and it is coming off the sides of the stage slightly and around you, but nobody's actually noticed at this time that smoke is moving around an object.
That's why I'm thinking between that and lasers around the place, it might be best for me to stay off the stage to avoid any possible compromising of my invisibility.
Michael breaks into his next song on his Heroes tour, which happens to be David Bowie, Heroes. You can see what he's doing here.
There's a definite theme here.
With huge rapture from the audience, finishes the song once again. There is no issues. And it's his time. He's done a couple of numbers now. It's time to address the audience. And he looks out and says, "Hello, Emerald City!"
Hello, Michael Ball!
He doesn't cough up, is it? Beautiful. I think we'll try that again, Gage. "Hello, Emerald City!"
Oh, Michael Ball!
That's exactly the response. So he says, "Can I have the lights up a bit, please?" And he brings up the lights slightly into the auditorium. And he's looking at the many, many thousands of faces. And he's giving a wave to the people right at the back. And they're waving back. It's a beautiful, beautiful moment. And as he casts his eyes around the auditorium, he sees someone dressed as a banana in the front row. And he stops and he stares and he can't believe what he's looking at. And
Hey, Michael, like your stuff.
He's looking at the woman next to him.
he looks off the stage to the left and the right. And he says, he whispers, he mimes, "There's a banana out here." He shouts, "Are you ready to rock?" Because that's the kind of thing Michael Ball says in his shows, you know. "Are you ready to rock?"
Yes, I am, Michael.
Okay, let's have some lights going on. And there's lights flashing everywhere. And there's pin lights that move around, and 3 or 4 pin lights settle on his chest. And I would like us to roll initiative now, please.
Well, I roll a 7, so that gives me 23.
17.
19.
We've got a very quiet 19.
As far as the crowd know, this is just part of the act. But you know that there's something up. There is no reason. It looks very much like it may be from a targeting scope. Matt, you are actually going first.
Shunt him on stage. You're invisible. Nobody's going to see.
Because I'm aware that there is, or I think that there is an attack coming and I know the direction, will I be able to use my interpose skill now?
Interpose is actually interrupting a attack that's going to hit somebody else. You could use a move action, which is going to position you in a place that you think will be...
I just go out and stand right in front of him. My camouflage shouldn't break the beam, so nothing visible should change until any shot is fired, at which point it hits me in front of him instead of hitting him.
Does light travel through you without any issue, or would there be some kind of refraction where it bends off slightly?
It looks exactly normal.
Okay.
The only indication would be if someone was looking that closely, like, since this is all being videoed, if someone watches it back, they're probably going to be able to see the disturbance I make in the fog as I come through from the smoke machines, but the light itself shouldn't be a problem. This
is quite a matter of urgency, so you're going to just bust out onto the stage hoping that nobody really notices?
What's between me and him? I mean, I don't have to... I'm that fast, I don't have to take a direct line. I can go around obstacles.
Okay, as you head directly out, if you were facing the side of the stage, you would have to go out to pass a little bit of scenery, which blocks for the audience. It blocks the fact that there is an exit there.
Yeah.
past the scenery, you've then got about 4 feet in front, the beginning of the skyscraper scenery. You would have to bear to the right to get to the 10 foot of free scenery there. And if you're not careful, you are going to knock scenery over here.
I can go 1,800 feet for a round's move.
Yeah.
So I think it's reasonable for me to get round the scenery and in front of him. It's not direct line, but, you know, I've got that room to move around.
Okay, so you are going to come out and go round and straight in front of Michael. Michael's about 4 feet off the front of the stage.
As I'm doing it, I realise I'm not really going to get any other action because I don't have a target to go up against or anything.
As you put yourself in front, obviously we've kicked up some of the smoke, the fog. It is billowing around you. Very soon people are going to notice that there's some kind of shape there. But for now, it's kicked up enough disturbance that it's just billowing around in general.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Now, there's a lull in the music. The music builds to a crescendo and then drops just at the moment that Michael's going to break into an opening note. This big key number. A shot is fired from out of the darkness, heading towards Michael. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to just... What's your impervious, by the way?
18, so anything strength 9 or below.
Okay, because you're not actually going to want to dodge this, are you?
No. No, I'm not.
Okay. What happens is this is not a bullet which hits you. It feels very much like a glass vial that hits you. And this glass vial bounces, coming from the angle that it probably is, it bounces off of your right pec and it skitters onto the stage in front of you. It's cracked, but there's a liquid in that glass vial.
Get it. You see what that is.
Okay?
I can run some tests on it.
So the next shot is also going to have a similar effect.
Grab as many as you can.
You're much bigger. You're quite stocky. You're quite wide as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
That one is going to hit you in the abdomen, and what it does, and that's obviously it's at a different angle than the first bullet, so it's going to hit you at a different area. And what that does is it completely cracks and smashes the vial, and this liquid splashes out off from your body. It doesn't seem to have any kind of initial effect, okay? But this liquid is now just splashed out onto the stage.
Because I'm worried about what this might be doing, I'm not breathing now.
Okay? The
You didn't need to
smoke
tell
is
us that, to be
now
honest.
billowing up, and as it billows up, they can now see building from the legs upwards, transparent figure in front of Michael Ball. This transparent, huge, Hulk-like figure within the smoke, within the mist. And people start screaming. Okay? And now, it's Frankie's go.
Being outside, I'm doing nothing.
Being outside, he now can't see what's happening in there because you've not got a live link. You have got a comm link, though. If Frankie's outside and nobody's made him aware of this, then at this time he's not going to be helping. Is that right? Is that what you're saying? Right, okay. So it's going to now move to Chester, Sean Chester.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to teleport.
Whoa, hang on a minute. Can I just stop you before you do that, Gage? Because the lights have now come up in the building.
All right, leave it then.
As people are screaming and people are starting to move throughout the building, at the very basic health and safety levels, they know that lights need to be up. So they have brought the lights up. The music has now filtered out, and there's a very confused band, because generally the bands face towards the stage, and they're seeing as well this smoke-filled Hulk in front of them. But you can now be seen in a very prominent yellow suit.
All right, what I'll do.
Maybe
is
that wasn't the best choice.
Cage, put me in.
Yep. Okay. Portal. Portal in. Frankie in.
Okay, you portals, you can only do the initial portal that's next to you. You can only do it, I'd say, the maximum about 10 feet away.
If I remember correctly, with my seating position, there is the little band dip under bit, isn't there?
Do you mean the orchestra pit?
The orchestra pit. So if I
The
put,
orchestra pit is full of orchestra.
yeah,
Right, if you just put the portal on the floor in front of you, I'll just rise out like a column of smoke, greenish smoke, and surround Michael Ball and the machine.
alright. So I'm gonna do that, and that'll get him inside of the
Okay,
thing.
so that's one move, creating a portal, and
That's
while
one
you
move.
have to concentrate to keep it there, you can sustain it as an ongoing action, can actually move if you so desire.
I'm going to set the portal up first, and then I'm going to run. Because while I'm running to get Claudia to a safe place, the portal's opened up enough time for Frankie to get through.
People are screaming and shouting. Some people have noticed that this big wibbly wobbly circle has appeared in front of them. The portal's now ready for Frankie to come through. There is then a moment of nothing happening where people are just getting more and more hysterical and trying to run from the building. The lights are fully up. The band now try and exit to the left and the right to leave the
Well, Scott-
orchestra pit. Michael Ball is now staggered back into the scenery. The back wall collapses against the skyscrapers, and it's a domino effect where all of the scenery starts crashing to the ground, and he's now lying on the back of the stage.
What about my reaction?
Well, you said you weren't doing anything on your go.
Well, that.
Well, no, I couldn't do anything on my go because there was nothing for me to do. I was outside.
Yeah. So
So that's a delayed reaction.
action.
Ah, you didn't state that. Okay, so what are you doing?
Well, that's what you should have expected, Dan. God.
No, it's not for me to make your story for you.
Hey, if I can't do anything, if a portal opens up next to me, I'm going to go through it. So I'm going to come through the portal and fill the room with green smoke. Yeah, move obviously over to Michael Ball, see what the situation is there.
Now got a smoke-filled Hulk. You're really looking like the Incredible Hulk now, Matt. We have got green smoke starting to billow through the stalls.
Yep.
And you've just come out there and you've raised yourself up over the stage, arms apart like that.
I'm kind of hoping that everything's sort of in the green mist.
Okay.
Oh, be all messianic pose and be the second coming, dude.
Second coming.
No, giant green fog. That's what's coming through. No one's seeing nothing.
Spoil sport. Right. So we now have a green mist with his green mist.
Hopefully, I'm covering everyone, so no one really can see what's going on.
And we've not really seen what the source of these shots are, have we?
Not yet, no.
How far away has Michael moved from me?
He's about 15 feet towards the back of the stage.
Okay, because I don't have a target to work with at the minute, and I have to concentrate on covering him, then I still can't contribute much. I'm just going to have to... I go over to him, so I'm still blocking him because I'm worried that there were, I think it was 4 lights, was it? And there were only 2 shots made because they realised that they weren't hitting him, I'm presuming. So then they might be positioning to get round and take better shots around me. So I'm going to go over and get right up close to him and in front of him. And while still invisible, this voice comes from the void in the smoke and says, "Don't worry, Mr. Ball. Protective Services, we're here to look after you."
He
Fair
has now
enough.
got a wet patch down the front of his trousers.
Who, Machine or Michael Ball? Oh my god, oh my god!
I just get that excited by the sight of the man. Hey, I've seen him in the shower. No corset or nothing.
Okay, are you delaying an action or are you just using your action to actually cover him?
I presume I'm pretty much devoting my action to... I'm covering him and trying to look around for where the shots might have came from, but with stage lights and so on, unless they've all been dropped, I presume I'm not really going to be able to see anything from where I am.
They just seem to be moving randomly at the moment.
I will spend my turn devoted to covering him and moving round in case he decides to run off in one particular
Are you
direction.
just standing over him like this, or have you got it pinned to the ground, or?
I'm just standing over him at the minute because I don't want to literally give him a heart attack, which he looks like he's due.
Doing great.
There's going to be another shot fired. This is quite an accurate shot, but as you're covering it, I don't think I need to roll. What I will roll is for...
Seeing through the giant smoke cloud?
They can... These are pretty good.
Oh, when the GM runs out of things to say.
Well, what do you want me to... without telling you what they are, these are pretty good.
They have some
Well, okay.
sort of heat vision.
These are pretty good. So, firing through the green mist then, the green smoke, to attempt to hit where Michael fell. So let's say that they actually are firing from where he was before the smoke enveloped him. Okay? And it is going to bounce directly off of Matt again. But as it hits Matt's shoulder, it diverts and goes to the left. And this vial hasn't broken. And what this vial is going to do is it's going to hit Brian, who still stood off to the left of the stage.
That's fine.
And it hits him directly in the shoulder. And Brian flies back initially from the impact and starts to scream.
That's fine.
And it moves to Scott.
Okay. I'm gonna dive round my ball and put a big wall around him.
So there is a wall that now moves around. Is that encasing Matt?
No, I'm gonna put it between Matt and Michael, freeing Matt up to go and take care of whatever this is.
Gage, just
Right,
as you get ready to do your move, you can see that you can't see it because it's off to the side, but maybe Matt can, that Brian has now started to twist and turn and spin almost on the spot.
Twist and shine.
When you say twist and turn, he's convulsing or he's like physically changing?
He's almost spinning on the spot.
Right, okay, so are we just trying to get Michael Ball out of the area?
You need to go engage whatever's going on. I'm protecting Michael Ball right now.
You're protecting Michael Ball. You've just got Brian because love interest, I guess.
What? Where did that even come from?
Do I know where the shots have been coming from?
The lights have now come up,
Yeah.
and you can see that there's a lot of people who are billowing out, trying to get out from where the stalls are, from where the tier is, but that the first tier, the circle, it's quite compact. There are many people on there, and it's only a very short exit that goes to the different tiers, and so they're not managing to get out very quickly. And you probably the only places that look clear, and I don't mean clear because they're quite dark still, are the side boxes.
Obviously, Claudia's just at the back of the bottom dress circle. So she's safe. She's out of danger. I'm going to...
Well, is she still in the building?
She is.
Then she's not necessarily safe and out of danger.
Well, what should I do? Because we can't really leave her alone, just in case.
She's fine. Take care of the people.
Alright,
No, don't take care of the people. Take care of whatever's in the balcony. Shoot down.
I'll go up to the balcony, close nearby where the shots were.
How will you get up to the balcony?
I couldn't just use a portal, could I?
Well, you can, but then that's going to be your go to get up to the balcony, to create the portal and then go through it.
Fair point. I don't know, do you guys think that would be an alright idea to use?
Yeah, why not?
Yep, go for it.
Alright, if I use my ability to go to the left side, box W.
As you come out into that box, you immediately confront
Oh god.
what looks like a very wiry, very thin, very gaunt-looking figure. This figure is about 5 feet high, very thin, looks all dressed in black. And what you notice unusual about this is that its eyes are like telephoto lenses, the actual lenses of cameras, and on the end of its arm is actually made up of a weapon, of a gun.
I need to take it out then.
Do that.
But you
Can I
use
put-
your go to actually create that portal and go through.
I did, so I'm stuck up there now.
Yep.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, now you've actually come out to the side of it. It's side on. It is going to notice you, but it's not directly in front of you. It goes back to Matt's go.
Right. Now that I'm free and the lights have come up, because we've got the presumably target covered by green mist's very helpful brick wall,
Yeah.
can I see where any of these shots have been coming from?
You can see where Gage has appeared. You can see that there's something in there with him. But it really is. It's almost like this thing is made for a single purpose. So it doesn't look like it's a human form. It looks like a very gaunt stick figure made for the purpose of being a weapon. That's the only one that you can see,
It's
From
a
here,
living
anyway.
gun.
if you like.
Yeah. Okay.
Kill it with fire.
I think there were like 4 of these things.
That
I
you
seem
know
to
of,
recall
yeah.
seeing 4 lights anyway to start with, and I'm going to presume, since I can see a bit of what this thing is that's in with Gage, it would seem to make sense that there might be one on the opposite side. So I will take a little bit of a leap straight up into box X,
You've got quite a good leap, haven't you? You've got
120 feet.
yeah.
Sorry, 250 feet.
Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
you're leaping up into that box.
So I'm jumping up into there, ready to, if there is one of those things in there, take a swing at it.
So I'm going to say we're going to have to roll to see if you're accurate, if you land within there, or if you're going to land hanging onto the side.
Right, okay.
And
I'll still get there one way or the other, but
you'll still get there one way or another. But let's use your athletics. What's your athletics?
athletics is a grand +0.
So I think to land perfectly in the box, you're going to have to roll a. Let's go with a 13 here.
And I get a 13.
Oh, it's meant to be. You glide through the air and you come crashing onto the floor of. Are you still invisible? Can you stay invisible if you're doing a?
Yep, I'm still invisible. I can drop it at any time I like, but at the minute, I'm still invisible.
You emerge as this swirl of nothing breaking through the green smog. You land directly into the balcony with a crash. Now, I would say you're going to cause a crash with your kind of weight. There's going to be some kind of effect on that balcony. We used your unarmed last time when you actually stomped on the quad bikes. So what's your difficulty class for unarmed?
29.
Okay, so you now land into the balcony, and as it's jutting over the side, it now causes a crack that goes around the balcony. Okay, so it's not come off the wall. You're still attached. You're still able to go through and into the other parts of the building, but you have literally shattered all of the plaster and all of the work around the balcony at this time.
Beautiful. That place needed refurbishment anyway.
When I land, that's my move, but is there an enemy for me here for me to take action against?
There is one of the same creatures that I described. There's one that's literally away from the edge, so it can't be seen, but aiming through the smoke, and you can see its eyes are twisting and turning like lenses, trying to sharpen up the detail of the shot that needs to take. But when you land, it staggers back.
So I'm going to aim to punch this thing out. It'll effectively be my takedown ability, but I'll use it in a more creative way and throw its mate at it.
This is going to be a surprise attack for it. So you're going to try and punch it, are you?
Punch it using my standard attack. I'm gonna, let's see, I want to make sure I hit it. So I'm using accurate attack and all-out attack. So it's that trade-off. So I try and punch it right in its non-human face. Ooh, there we go. Well, that was a natural 20. So that's
okay. So that gives you an
35.
extra degree of success. What am I rolling on the difficulty class here then?
The difficulty class is now only 25.
As you punch it, it's almost like you punch through it. It's almost like at the moment of contact, it breaks into iron filings and just scatters onto the floor.
Well, I was going to throw it at its mate, but since that's not an option really, then I do that, and my immediate follow-up is to launch myself across the room into box W and try and hit its friend.
So as you kind of swing round, you kind of jump at the same time. So you kind of corkscrew yourself round.
I'm like a large psychotic pinball.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yes.
Once again, you're going to have to launch. You're going to have to roll a 13 to land this successfully.
Another natural 20.
All right. So
Perfect. Gymnastic landing.
Graceful.
sailing through the air to the other balcony to box W, landing perfectly in there once again with the force. What was your difficulty class on that one?
On my normal unarmed attack is 29.
Landing with such force that this box not only splinters around the edge but also lurches forward at an angle.
Nice.
So it's hanging off of the wall.
And as
Okay.
it does so, I pummel the bad guy who's in there.
Are you doing the same kind of...
It
roll?
has to be the same attack.
Do you want to roll for that?
Ooh, that's not as good. That's a 4, and I've got plus 15, so 19 to hit that one.
Okay, that hits. So
it's
what's your
again
difficulty
DC
class?
25.
That one also almost bursts into a cloud of iron filings. We have got Brian in the corner, has continued to spin and spin faster and faster, building up almost like a cyclone. And then at the moment where he reaches
Maximum velocity.
a beam of light shoots out, leaving nothing where Brian was. And the beam of light is actually going to be Brian. And he crashes through the first balcony. He has actually come from the bottom right and shot at an angle and hit straight underneath where box W is. The upper circle now has lost its supporting structure. It lurches forwards. Now there are still, I'd say, about 300 people up on the other upper circle. If you think of it as a plank of wood, the one side has lurched forwards and it's causing it to skid out, and it's moving out away from the wall. It's going to start rupturing the only supporting structure that it's holding on the opposite side. But the whole circle now starts to move forwards away from the wall.